Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Pretty good.
Hey,
It's episode 45 of the ToonamiGAF podcast. We have B-Dubs, C-Kohler, and Moara,
good enough.
Moradin.
Nailed it.
Moradin.
You're very good at pronunciations.
I can pronounce things.
You can pronunciate them.
That's not a word.
Sure it is.
No.
No, it's not, but it's what you just did.
Sure, whatever.
Oh,
Hey, there's still no news. Slow news time.
yeah, not much. I mean, we're getting Jack in a couple weeks, and they showed trailers that we've already seen.
Oh, well, they did. They finally put
I mean-
Toonami in the trailers.
It's still
I
a
didn't
cool
notice
trailer.
that. Oh, heck yeah. Very cool. And
That
you're
long
right.
promo might be a contender for promo of the year.
Well, it's my favorite for so far. That's for damn sure.
But
And I did notice that they put Toonami on there. I wish they had done that originally. It's almost like somebody caught them and said, "Hey, you didn't put that on there."
well, I
It
guess
was
they're
our
running.
idea.
They're running. They seem to be running the Toonami branded stuff during Toonami.
Yeah, but that's the bummer. They should be branding Toonami all the time.
I mean, when people show up for Samurai Jack, they'll see it's part of Toonami. Okay,
I hope so.
except they're all gonna DVR it and skip through everything else.
Whatever.
TV. Anyway,
They're going to be like us, and they're going to marathon the whole block.
no, don't be silly. They might stick around for Super and nothing else.
Yeah. I have higher hopes.
Especially once they don't see a lineup promo, because they're not good about showing the lineup promo during the block anymore.
I really hope they make a cool lineup promo for that. Just to try to get any new viewers.
They will. It'll air once on a Tuesday night at 3:30.
Nah. They always show the lineup promo when the lineup changes during Toonami, so they'll do that, I'm sure.
I feel like they've been bad about that recently. They like what they instead they like to air a new if it's like they like to air the promo until the show actually airs, and then they're like, well, too late for the lineup promo.
Maybe. This is a pretty big one, though,
Yeah.
because they were getting a new half an hour added to the block. So
And it's not like it's also not like they can show the promo again the premiere night because it's the first show.
Probably not.
There's definitely going to be next time promos though.
Oh, definitely. They spent the money on it. They might as well.
So let's talk about the show that also has next time promos. That sure is a segue.
It's a bit of one.
I'm sorry. Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super Episode 7. How dare you do that to my Bulma? Vegeta's Furious Transformation? That's a title.
Yeah, it's a heck of a title, and I'm surprised. It's such a funny thing. Why do you do that to my Bulma? But one thing I noticed in this episode is that right when he was transforming, that his eyes were blue. And was that in the movie like that?
Yeah, their eyes turn blue when they go Super Saiyan.
Oh, really? I thought
Yeah.
that was a new thing. I thought that was the whole point of the episode, was to show he was reaching a higher level or something.
No,
I thought
their
his
eyes
eyes
turn.
were. I thought his eyes were white.
No, their eyes turn blue.
Well, I meant his pupils. Like his pupil was blue, and
Yeah,
I
no,
thought that
that's-
was like a
didn't
hint
catch
of
that.
the next
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, no, that's been going on since like Goku,
Okay, my bad.
like all the way back in like fighting Frieza or whatever.
So otherwise, the slap.
I like that scene. I mean, not that I like seeing Bulma get slapped, because I like Bulma most of the time,
Yeah.
but it was a really well done scene because like it was like effective. Like I was like, dang, ouch, that's not cool.
He
I thought it was
smacked her.
I thought it was a bit over, like, comedic though.
Maybe.
Like,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Bulma goes flying into a table.
the
When she
slow
was,
mo and the replay definitely didn't help that.
Well, I
yeah,
mean, she's like a normal person, and he just got done smacking everyone else around.
yeah, I'm sure. Obviously he just lightly tapped her, but like the shot of her like falling back and like Goten and whoever like catching her and stuff, and it's like, ooh, that's not something you want to see. Pretty rough. I mean, I really actually, felt pretty bad for her in that moment, and I totally think that Vegeta, however much he's about to be jobbed, deserves his moment here to fight back.
Yeah, it's actually cool to see Vegeta actually give a shit for once.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
I
probably
mean,
it.
keep in mind, he might not job here because Goku jobbed earlier. No, who am I
No,
kidding? Vegeta's the king of jobbers. I know what's happening.
you
I've
do
seen this.
realize
Yes, Vegeta is the king of all jobbers.
that there's no way Vegeta
No.
wins.
The prince. He's the prince of all jobbers.
He's the prince of all jobbers once again.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
Vegeta exists to job to people. Like there was a thread a couple of like last week. It was, does anyone job harder than does anyone talk more shit and lose more than Vegeta? And the answer is no.
Well, what about Yamcha?
Yamcha doesn't talk shit.
Yamcha knows he's a loser.
Yeah,
Vegeta,
Yamcha knows he ain't shit. Vegeta,
Okay.
he keeps talking
no matter
shit,
how many
and then
times Vegeta loses, he's always talking shit.
Vegeta's like that short kid from down the block that's always talking shit about how he can beat you up. When you were a kid, and he's like 3 inches tall, and you're like 20 feet taller than he is, and all you got to do is like pick him up by the scruff of the neck and throw him. Like that's Vegeta's life is being the short kid who waves his arms at you when he gets angry.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I don't have high hopes for him. I mean, also mostly just because of the fact that, like, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, how could Beerus lose to him? I mean, like, he didn't even earn this upgrade outside of the fact that he got mad. And which,
Yeah.
okay, in hindsight, now that I'm saying that, I mean, that is how Super Saiyans upgrade. They do
Mhm.
upgrade themselves when they get mad. So I guess that's something. But he's like fighting a god. He doesn't have a lot of chance, I don't think.
Might get some hits in though.
Oh yeah.
He'll manage to make Beerus be like, "Oh man, he actually hit me,"
Yeah.
and then
I mean,
die immediately.
I do like the idea of Beerus actually taking a hit because so far we've seen him be completely untouchable.
Yeah.
You do realize that this doesn't end with them actually beating Beerus, and just ends with him eating sushi and being like, "Never mind."
No, I didn't know that, so thanks.
I don't know that, but
I mean, how else could it end? He's like 20 levels above, Super Saiyan 3.
Well, I guess, but like we haven't seen the big upgrade this. I know that there's a big upgrade coming.
Super
Yeah.
Saiyan God.
That's
is a
right.
thing.
They've said it a million times now.
Yeah.
So I love the scene with Beerus and the whole dessert tragedy where he goes on that rant about desserts.
Oh God, yeah. Also, Gotenks is a thing that exists.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you, Zonic.
I didn't know. I mean, I
Yeah.
knew about Gotenks, but I didn't. This is like the first time I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
So Zonic's
No,
literally sitting there being like, "I've never seen the Boo arc," and then Trunks and Goten just do a dance and
Fuse.
become a single person, and Zonic's just sitting there like,
What
"What?"
the fuck is that? Well, he should be thankful that that's all they did, because if they went any further than that, like his brain would explode.
But they turn into Gotenks, and it's like, okay, somebody break out the Sega Genesis sound
yes.
card.
Oh, the voice. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about the music.
Oh, the music. Okay.
The super song that everyone hates.
Okay. Yeah, the The one what I was thinking of was the voice, because like it's basically like both of them talking at the same time when they talk. I think or something. It's like a weird echo when he talks.
Yeah, it's both.
Okay.
It's the voice of Legion.
He
Except
looked
not.
cool, but I don't know anything about him, so the fact that he got jobbed doesn't really mean anything to me. I guess he's strong, but whatever.
I
I mean,
mean,
he's not horrible.
What is that high praise in DBZ? He's not horrible.
Well, yeah,
I mean, Kai, wasn't he the strongest character?
no,
Tanks? I thought his
no.
whole problem was that he was too cocky.
He's too cocky, but there's still one character that's going to be stronger than him.
who?
Is it Roshi? I don't know.
No, you're going to find out later.
Okay.
You've already been introduced.
All right. Oh yeah, duh. We've seen it. It's
Yeah, like
the next level for Goku, the one with the goofy hair.
no,
No, not that. Okay. All right.
no.
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, you've never seen Boo before?
No, I've told you guys that. I thought.
Oh wow, you're going to be in luck. There's a point at which you think, yes, this is it. It's finally over. They've got this. It's perfectly wrapped up, and then it's like, nah, fuck that shit.
Okay.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Never underestimate Dragon Ball's ability to drag things out.
It's glorious for like 2 full episodes, and then you're just like, oh, that's bullshit.
Gotcha. The only other thing I got here is that I am enjoying Ian Sinclair as Whis
Mm-hmm.
and his whole like fascination with food, and he kind of was starting to sound a bit brookish this episode.
He pretty much did go full on Brook
Yeah.
with his foodgasms.
He doesn't really. Brooke is kind of just his Space Dandy voice.
I think Brooke is a little different than Space Dandy.
I can hear Space Dandy barely, but the fact that you mentioned that, I had to put it together because I think it's a little different to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, his Brooke voice is a little different. Is different from the Space Dandy voice.
It's a more. It's definitely higher pitched.
Yeah, like the Space Dandy voice is a bit rougher. You know, it like
I always thought his Brook voice was a bit more polite compared to his Space Dandy.
Yeah, it's a bit more like a polite dude. You know, it's not as rough.
It can't sing. Hello?
Yeah.
Man, what's with these awkward pauses? Come on, guys.
I don't know, man. It's Dragon. It's Dragon Ball.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, Dragon Ball Z Kai. Dragon Ball Z Kai, the final chapter is episode 105. The Dragon Team fully assembled. Goku has come back, so now the show can suck again.
Oh boy.
I thought the scene with Goku was actually pretty good.
I liked the moment. Even though I could not believe I did. I liked the Goten meeting Goku moment. I thought it was kind of sweet, mildly sweet.
You're my dad.
Apparently, they added a bit in there where Goku's actually pretends to be a good father. Like,
really?
Apparently that's not in the manga. It's just like he's like, oh, is that my son? Okay, let's go fight people.
He's like, believable. Good thing I only bought a day pass.
Pretty much.
Good God, having to take care of another kid? Fuck that.
Like he did it the first time.
Like, geez, I was able to somehow pass Gohan onto Piccolo, but woo.
No, like, seriously, we look at how long he actually spent in Gohan's life. It's like he spent most of it either dead or on a spaceship. or like in deep space away from him.
It's like, I guess Gohan can be his dad.
Yeah, I mean, he had like the 4 years from when Gohan was born to when he died. And then Piccolo had him. And then Gohan went into space, and they didn't see each other for a while. And then Goku was in space for like years. Then they had another 3 years.
They
And
had
a
that
year in
all
the
that
time.
time in the time chamber.
Yeah, well, that's a year. So they spent like 8 years together, and he was like 13 or whatever the hell it was.
And they spent like only 4 non-training years.
And Gohan is too young to remember any of that shit.
Yeah. Goku,
So
world's best dad.
Like, I think the only father he's better than is Ging, and that's not really a high bar to clear.
well,
so
he's better than
Ging at least has the courtesy to say, fuck you, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah. Same with
Well,
Gendo.
yeah,
And to just say it straight to your face.
yeah. Well,
Kind
I mean,
of.
Gendo pretends to care.
Does he?
You know,
I didn't know that. Does he do that?
he gives like a quarter of shit pretending to care.
Okay.
Like, he'll
One
be like,
thing-
get in the fucking robot, and then that's, I need you, son, and then that's all the kid gets.
Right. So they did answer one question in this episode, which was the big question I've always wondered is why do the Z fighters hide their powers? And
Mhm.
the answer is simply paparazzi.
Yeah, I buy
That's
it.
it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair enough, like,
Yeah.
because I mean, if they weren't, it'd be like if everyone knew where to find Superman,
Yeah.
That puts
But I
an end
guess-
to that question.
But I guess Videl doesn't care because she's already famous. Because in the episode, she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna fly home." And it's like,
Yeah.
I guess if people are gonna learn that she can fly, I guess it doesn't matter because she's already famous. But
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. Paparazzi.
I mean, she's like supposed to be the daughter of the strongest guy on Earth. If she learns to fly, it's going to be like, oh wow, she must be even better than he is, and no one's going to question it too hard.
Right.
I mean, like when she starts bench pressing trucks or something, then it's going to start going. Wait a minute. Well, if she does that.
No, she's like, that's enough of that being cool thing. Time for a pink shirt and glasses.
No, I thought Gohan wore the glasses. She doesn't have glasses.
Whatever.
She has a pink shirt.
Anyway, Mr. Satan's there to, I don't know, get beaten up by Kid Trunks in the first round.
I don't believe it. If that's what happens, because like, I don't mind Mr. Satan, but my problem with him is that he is just. I hate that everybody in this world is so fooled by his bullshit. I just so want him to fail miserably, but I know he doesn't because I've already seen Super considered the greatest person in the world. So,
well, I mean, at least he'll do something to earn that at some point.
I don't believe that either. But
no, neither do I.
You're right.
Like, I've seen it, I still don't believe he's earned that shit.
Yeah.
Like, at least he'll be able to have a vague justification for being famous, for saving the world.
See, the thing with Satan is, like, he would be one of the strongest characters in the world if it wasn't for all this superhero bullshit.
Yeah, like, if it wasn't for Krillin and, I mean, Yamcha could take him. And, yeah, like, if it wasn't for all the superhumans and, Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, all Roshi could take him. I mean,
so you're saying
DBZ
is basically the Watchman, and it kind of in reverse in a way because like nobody can take on Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah,
but otherwise they'd be awesome if he wasn't around.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's legitimately decent. I mean, outside of sort of like legendary dudes. But I mean, then again, mostly people don't go to these tournaments anymore because, well, what happened last time Goku went and, him and Piccolo blew up the ring and a bunch of people died.
Created a junior division, apparently.
Yeah, no.
Oh, wait, that actually reminds me. Did they get into the junior division or did they get into the adult division?
No, they're in the junior division.
Okay.
Goten and Trunks are going to be fighting defenseless 12-year-olds.
Okay, yeah, that's not going to go well.
Yeah, that's just going to be embarrassing for everyone.
Killua defeats another opponent with one chop!
Yeah, pretty
like,
much.
if these guys actually chopped a dude, like, their heads would come off.
Oh, and did I hear this right? That Yamcha's not even going to enter?
No,
Yeah.
no, like
Yamcha's
Yamcha knows
giving up
he
on
ain't.
life at this point.
Yeah, like he knows he ain't shit. He's just like, I'm living off that baseball money and whatever.
Oh, I forgot that scene in Super where Chi-Chi's like, Krillin, why aren't you doing anything? And he's like, I am Krillin.
Krillin does have
Krillin.
a job in Super though.
I like Krillin with his hair. That's all I'll
Yeah.
say.
I hate Krillin's hair.
We're gonna fight over this.
I like
It's
Krillin's
so
hair more in
creepy.
Super than Kai.
Yeah,
Wait.
his super hair is better. His Kai
Yeah.
hair is very much like, this is the first time I've ever had hair and I have no idea what to do with it.
Well,
Like
that
it-
was my question.
Like it looks like a Nicolas Cage bird hair.
Yeah.
Like
So-
it looks like a bird.
Was he always shaving his head? Or
Yeah.
was
Yes.
he just
Yeah.
miraculously... Okay, all right.
Actually,
Just making
adjusted
sure.
that in this episode.
Yeah.
Even
yeah,
when he
Goku
was in a
asked that.
spaceship,
He'd
he was
shave it.
shaving his head.
Okay.
Yeah, like Goku
I must have
asked
missed
him
that line.
Yeah, Goku asked that while he was watching your robot wife give birth.
Yeah, that was
That
a
was
good
probably
scene,
my
too.
favorite scene in the episode.
How does that even happen?
Of course, we all understand that she's not a robot, but
Yeah,
it's still funny. Yeah.
Goku's stupid.
Oh yeah, somebody in the thread said too that there's a translation problem with that, and that they call them androids in English, but apparently like the more literal Japanese would have been what was it like?
Cyborg?
No, it wasn't even that. It was
Artificial
like
human.
yeah.
Well, I mean that's
Makes more
sort of
sense.
what android means, though.
Well,
like-
but I think more like like I don't know how to
Like
describe it.
like they're more like artificial human. Like if you look up the definition of android, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Well,
It-
yes,
it's
I
like-
guess you're right, but I'm
Had they
thinking
called
like
them cyborgs, it would have been better.
well, no, I don't agree. Let me get to my point here. So think about Cell. They kept calling him an android, and he's not either, which I think is
No.
also because they originally called him an artificial, well, I guess they didn't call him artificial human, but an artificial life form. And
Yeah.
so I think the point is that they're like manufactured people, but not in like a like metal way, but in like a like manufactured with like organic crap or something.
Mhm.
So that would explain how she can have babies. If that makes sense. Because it's
Well,
not. I don't think she has robot parts, does she?
Yeah,
She does.
no, she's
Oh.
got robot parts.
But I think with 18 and 17 is they were both actually humans at one point, and they were taken and turned into cyborgs or artificial humans.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the part that's necessary for childbirth was not altered, I guess. So okay. Basically.
no, I think that's the one part he was probably too embarrassed to touch. Because
Oh, yeah,
he didn't seem like a dude that'd be, he'd know what to do with a girl if he ever found himself in that situation.
And that guy's dead, right? Because I remember him getting blown up.
Yeah, no, he was the guy with the brain in the jar.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, Yamcha's been reduced to babysitter. Literally.
At least he knows, like he's not pretending he's shit or any of that stuff. He's like, I ain't shit. I know it. I'm gonna live off baseball money.
He just plays baseball now.
I think he retired from that.
Oh, geez.
So he literally got nothing at this point.
He does nothing! Well, anyway.
I am a bit curious as to what the hell he does, because in Super you sort of see like Krillin gets a job and Goku does work on occasion, and
Well, it seems
Like,
like
what the
some
hell is-
characters just linger. Like what's the guy with the 3 eyes?
Tien.
yeah, well, I mean, he lives out in like the woods, with like a short with like a midget, so
Like,
it's
Tien
like,
is Tien literally achieved enlightenment.
yeah, like he's a hobo, he-
Okay,
He lives off the dew of a single leaf for 10 years in the mountains.
whatever the hell that means. You know, you got that third eye shit.
So anyway, that was Dragon Ball Z Kai. Let's talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure episode 17, The Deeper Plan. In which case you're not really sure if Joseph was just kidding about that whole "oh no" thing. Like, I'm literally thinking, so was Joseph ever not in control of the situation?
Probably not. Like he had hard reads for hard reads. Like that's the only way to describe it.
Like that whole scene where he was like, "Oh no, you've got me! This can't be happening!"
And he's like, "You can't do that. That's my trick."
Yeah, that was just bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, either it was bullshit or he was pretending to have a hard read for the hard read.
No, I think he was faking it. He must have been, right? Oh, no, wait. No, I think
he was faking something.
No, he wasn't faking that. I think he realized that guy could read him. But then he was like, but this guy doesn't know how to do magic tricks because he was frozen for 2,000 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about this show is I get to say things like this that I would never otherwise be able to say. AC/DC killed Kenny Loggins.
Yes, he did. Yes, AC/DC murdered Kenny Loggins, and then he stole his arm.
The lungs, those are critical for a Hamon user, and also every other thing.
Exactly. That's the dumbest line ever.
Like, they're critical for everything. Like, you need them to, like, breathe, or specifically for Kenny Loggins, he can't sing without them.
That's such a dumb line.
They're critical.
Yeah. They must have known. The guy who wrote this must have known how stupid that sounds. Like, what?
I mean, at least it leans into it, you know?
Yeah. And then, like, AC/DC, like, crying out of nowhere, and he's like, "Oh, I just had to get that out of my system."
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
Even for JoJo, that was weird.
That was hilarious. I was like, what?
Pretty crazy.
I am Boros, the conqueror of the universe.
JoJo was like, what is going on? I don't even get this guy.
I can't even read this.
Yeah.
So
the only other thing. Oh, go ahead.
I haven't read the manga, but the weird thing about this episode and the last one is, like, did they skip a whole bunch of training that we were supposed to see?
Yeah.
Well, they had like a montage last episode.
Yeah. They gave it the Rocky treatment.
I mean, did they skip it? Like, was it a bigger part of the manga than it was in the anime?
A little bit?
Kind of feels like between last episode and this episode, like there could have been like an episode in between.
I don't think there was that much. I mean, maybe like half an episode.
I have never read the manga, so I don't know. I mean, it possibly.
I mean, it's not a big deal. It's fucking JoJo. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I straight up, I don't think anybody actually, when he does that final rope trick, I don't think anybody actually knows what the hell he did.
I do. I know what he did.
I laid him down so that no matter where they're cut, it still is a thing, and it's like, what? I don't...
No,
My
dude,
strings have strings?
That's a real magic trick. Don't you know that? I mean, I'm not joking. It's like a legit magic trick.
No, I have no idea.
Well, like, and to put it even in other terms, it's like the kind of magic trick that you learn when you buy one of those boxes that's like, become a magician, and it's got a bunch of magic tricks in it. Like, that's one of the ones they teach you. Is
Oh.
How to make how to cut the rope and then like reveal that it's not cut. That's literally the trick he did.
That's like the second trick you learn after the card tricks.
After the unlinking rings or whatever.
Well, guess what? I've been sleeping in a pillar for the last 5,000 years, and I don't know any of that shit.
Yeah.
JoJo's got one on you.
Yeah, he beat me.
So they're looking for this, or well, the Pillar Men are looking for this diamond or something called the Super Asia.
The Super Asia!
Yeah, and so like, why is it called
The
that?
undefeated of the north, south, east, west, and center.
It's such a weird name.
No, I think it's not actually the Super Asia. I think it's supposed to be the Super something else, but we're just like, no, fuck it, it's Master Asia. The East is burning red.
What are these? What are these references you're making here?
G Gundam.
Okay.
You need to go watch G Gundam.
That's the one with the Mexican
Yes,
Gundam,
it is.
right? Okay.
It's the Gundam that's literally wrestling.
G Gundam. It's the stupid one.
It's the amazing one.
It's the one that knows it's stupid.
You know
Yes,
what? Even though we're about to talk about Gundam next, this G Gundam sounds like a show I'd much rather watch because it would be ridiculous.
Yes. It's amazing.
You should watch Build Fighters.
No, G Gundam is essentially the precursor to Gurren Lagann.
Wow. I think you said that before.
It has a lot of the same tropes. It doesn't play it up to the same level, but it runs on basically the same ideas.
Okay.
And so now AC/DC is a brain.
And apparently Joseph can't feel that.
Well, he feels it. He just doesn't. He's just like, oh, I must be tired. My shoulders are stiff. It's like, no, there's a brain hanging on your back.
I didn't expect that. Then I say that a lot in this show, I guess.
Also,
yeah, I mean, that's the whole
AC/DC
point.
was like, I have a metal skeleton for like 2 seconds.
Yep.
We didn't even talk about the boiling blood veins.
Oh, that's so gross.
So those were his veins that were coming out of his body?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty gross.
Meanwhile, Caesar like singes Messina's arm hair, and he's like, "No, not my arm hair. Okay, you pass." Like he literally gave up. He literally gave up without a fight. Is what it seemed like.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I love their excuse for not helping Joseph out at all.
It's like, well, we can't get there in time.
So whatever.
We're just gonna stand here and talk about it.
And then we're gonna go see if we can help Lisa.
Didn't even look that far away, actually.
They probably could have made it.
Well, it's probably a thing where there's like, oh man, they're 3 miles away.
Yeah.
I was like, doesn't look like 3 miles away, but I guess whatever. And
good old JoJo. Such a good show.
Good old JoJo. Okay, let's move on to Gundam. Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, Episode 7, The Battle at Palau. No, not that Palau. Space Palau. It's like Palau, but in space. In which they fire the hyper mega ultra super duper chocolatey fudge coated awesome amazing particle cannon.
Yeah.
Took them a long time too.
And
yeah, they had to get ready.
And I guess they kind of managed to not hit any civilians.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I'm sure it'll be like, they'll come out next episode and be like 50 billion people died!
No, yeah, I'm sure a bunch of people wound up being dead. I mean, they crashed those 2 asteroids together and they were held together by stuff. I'm sure there were people walking.
Yeah, it's really hard to figure out who's... I mean, maybe if I paid more attention, I don't know, but it's hard to figure out who's good and bad in this show. It just seems like everyone's bad.
Yeah, no, everyone's bad.
Everybody's like, except for Benager, who's trying to, like, I guess this the pure, innocent soul. Everybody else is like, yeah, let's just kill a bunch of people.
Yeah,
we'll just shoot our cannon and kill a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah, no, everyone in this series kind of sucks.
Maybe we should not watch it then.
I'd rather watch G Gundam, but you know.
No, you will stick to the prescribed schedule and watch this show.
Give me
seriously,
G Gundam.
If I was not doing this podcast, I would not watch Unicorn. I would just skip it.
I think I'd watch it. I mean, just for the...
I mean, it's pretty enough.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm completely checked out of the story of the show.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are talking. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about, and I watched the episode.
I take notes during Toonami so that I'm ready for when we record the podcast. And like this is the second week in a row where I have nothing written down for this show. There's nothing happens. Like it's just such a I don't know.
I mean, this episode had some nice action at least, but
yeah, it did.
You see, when I see the action, I see pretty colors, but I don't give a shit. So whatever.
I have
also,
no
it's at 1:30.
Yeah.
In the morning.
It's there was a scene I remember. I do remember something. My God, I remember something. So there was a fight with the unicorn and that like 4 shielded mecha with the girl Gundam inside. Yeah. And remember when he almost kills her or something, and then there's this weird scene where they're like naked in space. Remember that? And then
that's how it goes in space.
Oh, we're forgetting the most important thing. Remember when they have a scene and they talk about technobabble for like 5 minutes?
Oh, God.
That every episode?
Well, this time I really noticed it. It was like, yeah, the blah, 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 and the new types, and then the psycho wave, and the blah, blah, blah.
The Unicorn Gundam is a super-duper new type killer that can kill cyber new types, and she's a cyber new type, and we put her out there so she could get cyber new type murdered by the super-duper new type murderer.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm generally not as down on this as you guys are, but even then, I'm still like, yeah, this can be really dumb sometimes.
So, by the way, I'm gonna steal the best name category from the Toonami Show Rundown Tommies, just so we can give it the full frontal.
And that's the only time we're gonna use it. Just gonna be this year. Full frontal wins.
No, we're gonna have to keep using it because there's some great JoJo names.
None of them are going to be as good as Full Frontal, though. It should be Full Frontal presents greatest name.
Hey, best name covers a lot of ground.
Yeah,
they missed a real opportunity in this show to name his like white-haired sidekick guy like Partial Backdoor or something like that.
No, screw it. They'd go Partial Nudity.
Yeah, Partial Nudity. That'd be good. Yeah.
Or Beaver Shot. Just Beaver Shot. That's what they name it.
It's Full Frontal and his sidekick Butt Flap.
It's Full Frontal, his sidekick Nip Slip.
Full Frontal and his sidekick Christina Aguilera. Or Janet Jackson. Sorry, I completely forgot. Jackson. I forgot which whatever.
You were about to say which pervert was it?
No. But also that one Dune and Audrey get away, and I still don't know why he's helping her.
Who knows?
I'm literally going with at this point with he's just brainwashed.
Or that he's just like I don't know. I think he got. I mean, to be honest, I think he probably just like she talked him into it. But like, yeah, it's more fun to think about the fact that she's like, hey, you want to help me? And he's like, yeah.
It's like 5 seconds ago, you were coming into my room and ranting at me, but now you're helping me escape and literally faking your own death.
Yeah, and then they do they had this moment. God, it's surprised so much of this is coming back to me. But they have the moment where Benager is like, okay, I gotta go now. You take care of her, and then the guy's like, oh my gosh, I gotta take care of her now. You know that scene they always have where one guy tells the other guy to protect the girl. Like they had that scene in this episode.
I'm trying so hard to enjoy this show, but I don't know. Like I just don't care about anything that's happening.
How many more episodes are there?
There's 22 episodes in this series.
Okay.
So we're like 14 episodes left.
The only thing that could really save it now is if it just went bonkers. Like if it just went off the deep end, but I just don't think that'll happen. The show seems too serious.
It's way too far up its own ass for that to happen.
Yeah. It's very pretty. I'll say that.
I'm sure it's a lock for best looking show, even though it's kind of cheating by being just a cut up OVA.
Yeah, it really is cheating a lot. It looks so good.
Like maybe we actually cut it for that reason. Like it's cheating.
No, it has to win.
Or we just give it to Samurai Jack.
Well, it's going to be either. It has to be either Unicorn or Jack.
You guys are giving this stuff way too much thought. It's way too early in the year to be deciding this stuff.
Yeah, but nothing's going to look as good as either one of these two shows.
You don't know. We might get a new show that you don't even see coming. That would blow it away. You never know.
Mob Psycho.
Yes, or something. Yeah.
Mob Psycho has good animation. It's
good
not
art.
quite as
Good everything.
It's not quite as gorgeous as Unicorn is, though.
I don't know.
Okay, we are ahead of ourselves here.
Yes, we are.
We're talking about Mob Psycho, and it's not even a confirmed block thing yet. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's move on to Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter episode 39, Wish and Promise, in which Kurapika literally gets darker and edgier. Literally. He's walking around darker environments, and his design is a little bit edgier.
And he has chains.
He has chains.
Oh, he's got chains.
It's like, why do you want chains? And it's like, some people need to be chained to hell.
He wants to capture bad guys.
So, was the scene where he was talking to the really tattooed woman and getting that assignment, was that York New City?
No.
Okay.
York New City is literally just New York.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. That place looked kind of like he was in a slum of a big city or something.
Yeah, I mean, he was in some big city slum, but it wasn't York New.
Okay. So they introduced some bodyguard woman who has a special power called Instant Lover, which I thought was pretty funny.
Hey, it's a good power. Don't, knock it.
No, I'm not knocking it. I thought it was pretty cool. She's like, Instant Lover.
And then there's this one character who looks like a hamster man, but is a girl.
Wait, that's a girl? The guy with the teeth?
Yep.
Yeah. The short hamster looking guy is a girl.
Oh.
She's got the pretty girl voice and everything.
She did have like a feminine voice. I guess
that is not the voice I expected to come out of that character.
Yeah.
No, but once you hear the backstory, you're going to be like, oh man. Like, it's really kind of a screwed up one.
And then there's some dude with chest hair who looks like he's going to die.
Well, you could say that about most of these people.
Well, there's like also a guy. Is this the same guy? I don't know. But there's a guy with like a big pompadour.
That's the same guy.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, he does look pretty generic.
And then there's also some other dudes
who are even more generic.
Who it's like, I don't know.
So they're all going to help this like guy who's like collects flesh or something. It's weird. Like he's a flesh collector.
He's a bad guy.
Clearly. Oh, but then at the end of the episode, he's like, but before I'll give you the mission, you got to survive my mansion. And then suddenly surprise ninjas appear.
Well, really, there should not be any other type of ninja but surprise ninja.
These guys all know Nen, so,
Also, there is such a thing as Shippuden.
Yeah.
Also, yes, there's Naruto.
Yeah. So Naruto is not. Yeah, they're not surprised.
Let's have ninja fights. So yeah, Kurapika knows Nen now.
Oh yeah, and he's
conjurer apparently.
Yeah, he's
conjurer. Yeah.
And he's like, I wanted to be an enhancer.
Well, that's because enhancer's like the good stuff, It's like the basic I'm gonna get strong type.
Wants to punch
shit.
good.
Yeah, he wants to punch good and jump good.
But if you notice that they showed some silhouettes, and Leorio got put into, I believe, the emitter category.
Yeah,
I did see that. Yeah, I thought that was kind of a neat little tease, I guess.
We'll come back to Leorio's Nen power in 500 episodes.
Also, I noticed this for the first time too. At the end of the ending, they always show who's in what power.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Because they shows their face on the wheel or whatever.
Yep.
So they've been showing that all along, and I didn't even realize it until this episode.
So they do have. So the main four all have 4 different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that conjuration is getting a bad rap here. Now the show may give it that way, but man, if I had that, I think I could come up with some pretty clever uses for it. Like, drop a 50-ton thing on somebody or something,
Well, I mean, it's a little more complicated than that. It's going to go into a little bit how he learned how to, manifest the chains next episode. It takes a bit to learn how to make anything.
And then you're like, oh, I can make anything.
Yeah, but you have to learn how to make that one thing first, Like if you want to, make a sword, you gotta like handle a sword for like a year, whatever the hell it is. Just like you gotta sleep with it, you gotta sniff it, you gotta lick it, you gotta finger it.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, that sounds really dirty all of a sudden.
Please stop.
Yeah, but it's like you gotta,
You just have to know the object really well to make it. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, you have to know the object really well. So it's not like you can just pull, something out of your ass randomly.
Okay.
And the show really does some cool things with conjurers, so.
Oh, definitely. Like, Kurapika specifically does some really awesome shit with his power. Because what you've seen so far is only sort of scratching the surface of what Nen can do. Like, yeah, he can make chains, but it's not that simple.
It is interesting to me that this show spent so long without Nen, and now it seems like it's it's almost like the whole show is about Nen now.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like if One Piece had no devil fruits, and then suddenly you get to the Arlong arc. It's like, devil fruits, bitch.
Yeah, and then the rest of the series is about devil fruits.
It's like if JoJo having stands 3 parts into it, and the rest of the series has stands.
You haven't gotten there yet.
Everyone knows about stands and basically what they are. JoJo's been around.
FYI, I don't know what stands are, but I've heard of that they have them. So I know that much. I know that they have powers that are like stands or whatever. But
when you hear the word stand, what do you think of?
Well, I don't know. I think it's just like a weird magic. Like they can do some goofy thing like a devil fruit, basically.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun.
Okay. That's all I know. So, but I know what you mean though, Morden, about the fact that like it's the same thing. It's like they've got Hamon, and I'm assuming when part 3 comes around, well, Hamon's out, or maybe it's still around. I don't know, but they don't use
when part 3. Yeah, Hamon is technically still around, but also 2 gears
because they've got stands.
It's literally like going from no Nen to Nen.
Okay.
Anyway. That was Hunter x Hunter. So let's move on to Naruto Shippuden. Naruto Shippuden, episode 146, The Successor's Wish. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think I watched. The one scene that I do remember is the girl taking her shirt off, and that's it.
Yeah, that was going into a weird direction, and then they thankfully saved it with like, oh, she's showing him something on her back.
She just starts taking off her clothes, and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. I mean, I legit, like, I usually could see that stuff coming, that she was going to show, like, the thing on her back. But at that moment, I was like, wait, that's not what's happening here. She's literally going to, like, flaunt him. And I didn't, I was like, okay. This suddenly got weird. But,
so
yeah,
we need our one moment with the bubbles. So there's that one scene where the guy climbs out of the mud, and it's like, here, have some slow-moving acid bubbles that kind of fizzle.
Fucking bubbles!
There we go.
Otherwise, there's no bubbles this episode.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, made even funnier by the fact that he keeps the little bubble blower and bubble juice in like his belt all the time. Like, you know what I mean? He's got like that little, like, it's so believable. Like, he doesn't even do bubbles in an interesting way. He literally does it in the, here's a toy that a child would use to make bubbles. That's what he has.
He's literally just
That's why it's awesome.
Pop, do.
Yeah. He's
fucking
like,
bubbles.
He's got literally like soap in there, and he's just making
Fucking bubbles!
Yeah. That's basically what he's doing.
Oh, that's the best clip ever. Anyway, fuck Shippuden.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the star of the show, One Piece.
Wow, we just skipped right over that.
Yep. One Piece, episode 380, Binks' Booze, the song that connects the past with the present.
Yes.
So, okay, who cried?
I cried.
I definitely did the first time I watched it.
It choked me up a little bit.
Yeah, well, like
Yeah,
the
even
first
now-
time I watched it, I bawled tears. After that, I just choke up and like just like tear up a little bit.
Same. First time I watched, I was like crying, straight up crying. Like second or like third time, it was like my eyes are wet, and then this time I was like, finally, I'm good. I've seen it 3 times.
I can survive it.
I should watch Inside Out again because that one made me cry like a bitch.
But yeah, this episode is probably one of my favorite episodes in the entire series.
This is probably the best episode of One Piece.
Yeah, you can make the case for it.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I think too it kind of comes out of nowhere too, because you're like 2 episodes into like his flashback. And I guess, well, maybe that's not so surprising considering other flashbacks, but still, it's just like you just don't think it's going to hit you because these Rumbar pirates are kind of nameless with the exception of the captain, you know?
Yeah, and he's already gone.
And he's already gone at that point, so it's like you don't really think you're going to get hit with this real emotional punch, but then the way they play out that scene is just so expertly done.
Also, get ready for Ian Sinclair presents Best Performance by a Voice Actor.
Exactly.
As won by Ian Sinclair. Again.
Like the
7-time winner of the Best Genist Award. Best Genist. Anyway, so people are like, so what's the deal with Captain Yorkie just going off somewhere? And it's like, well, it's a situation where it's like, is there a body? Show me the body.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I actually didn't even pick that up on the first time I watched it, but I know what you mean. It's like, I thought he died, and I had this wrong memory that there was because there's a shot where like the boat is going into the sunset, and that's Yorkie leaving, you know, and then all the Rumbar pirates are there on the shore. And I remembered that I thought that was him like getting a burial at sea, but it wasn't. He was like literally going somewhere to get cured or to try to get cured. And so we don't know what happened to him.
So back when when Laboon first showed up, all the way back in the Laboon arc, Crocus says, I heard there were some rumors that they escaped from the Grand Line.
So you think he's talking about Yorkie?
Yes.
Huh.
He I guess, yeah, some of them did.
Yeah.
Or maybe one person did.
It'll be really crazy if at the end of One Piece, when they finally make it back around to Reverse Mountain, and
Yorkie's just sitting there like, hey, I've been chilling with Laboon here all the whole time.
Yeah, well, at least for like the last 6 months or something, you know, and it'd be like, holy crap. I mean, that's totally possible, I guess.
But also would kind of completely ruin any emotional.
I don't know. Not really, because think about like, okay, so Brook has got the tone dial, which we saw in this episode for the first time, and that he can open his head, of course. And so,
which is amazing.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, him playing that for both the captain and Laboon would be pretty cool, because the captain hasn't heard that song either, you know. I mean, played by the crew dying. It would be emotional for him as well.
It would. It just needs to be that it just can't be that Laboon already has met Yorkie.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It needs to be like the triumphant return of Brook is the thing that happens. Yeah.
Also, when that chapter happens, I'm going to cry like a bitch.
Oh, yes.
Also, when Usopp goes back to Kaya and just starts telling true stories, I'm going to cry like a bitch.
And no one's going to believe him.
Well, I don't think we have. I think we've got a decade before we have to worry about this stuff. So, at least, and that's actually confirmed from Oda that we probably have about a decade.
It's probably more like 15 years.
Could be. Yeah. We still got things like Elbath sometime in the future, hopefully, to see, and who knows, stuff with the moon. Who knows? You know, there's all sorts of things.
I never really bought into that.
Oh, I totally am, dude. I could go on and on about it, but anyway. I think there's way too many reasons to believe that that'll play into the story, but whatever.
Okay, so now that we've moved from this is a sad episode of One Piece to One Piece is eventually going to go to the moon.
I don't know that, but there's been like hints or whatever. All right, but yeah, anyway, back to this episode. So yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? We just got to see the Rumbar Pirates' final song, their swan song, and then and basically Brook has now given us his dream, which every Straw Hat must have a dream, and his dream is to return on the Grand Line from the opposite direction so that he finally makes it all the way around the world to meet Laboon. That's his dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the few that I think will actually be shown to be completed on screen in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they all do, but yeah.
Well, it's for some of them that's just not possible. Like, what are you going to do? Show, okay, here's every single island in the world.
Well, maybe, who knows? Who knows what's at the end of the Grand Line that Nami might find some great map repository or something. I don't know.
She has to do it herself. That's the point.
Yeah, I guess.
How do we know she hasn't been doing it?
There'll be a flash forward, and she'll be like 37 or 92, and she'll have done it or something.
Also, it's going to be like Chopper is like, I want to be a doctor that can cure any disease, and it's like, what are you going to? He's going to find what? He's going to find like, it's an instant disease cure-all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Penicillin.
You didn't do anything, Chopper. No, Chopper has to do it himself.
I think they can make within the spirit of the dream. They don't have to be literal.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It has to be. If anything, some of them have to be flash forwards.
Yeah, or they have to be in the general idea of the dream and not the literal. I've explored every inch of the world.
Like if Chopper cures an incurable disease, that'll pretty much, cement his dream as okay, that's more or less, solid. It's done.
Oh. That does remind me, that was an interesting another bit about this episode, too, is that Yorkie got caught a disease in a jungle.
Yeah.
Can we think of another character who got a disease in a jungle?
Nami.
Exactly. So I think that was like a little kind of like, hey, did they stop off at...
Yeah, this is what could have happened to Nami had, they not found Chopper.
Right. Maybe the Rumbar Pirates had a trip to Little Garden at some point.
Yeah.
They did mention they got out of a jungle.
Yeah.
Right. Jungles.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I really like the scene. I loved the I'm alone on the ship scenes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the big part of what makes the whole ending scene so effective for me is just like the transitions between the past and the present. Like, I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, it's right in the episode title too. It's like, why? That's just why it's such a good episode. It's like they really did this service to make it tie together. It was so cool.
Like the dream sequence, that's so crushing. You know it's totally coming, but then it's like, oh, there's no one here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought this episode did a really good job of showing just how crazy this shit must have been for Brooke, just going insane, being alone for 50 years.
Yeah, seriously.
50 fucking years of that.
And also, I like how the song, the lyrics are really well, and I think I read that somebody said that Oda worked with a songwriter to come up with the lyrics for it, and of course the lyrics were slightly different in English. But I love how he worked in the part in the last verse about in the very end you'll become a skeleton, and I thought, oh, that's so cool for Brooke to say that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that he would hire at least bring in a songwriter to help with it, because it's just so good.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of those few times where the anime has something on the manga, because you never hear the music in the manga.
No, I mean, you can hear the, you can say it and you can basically get the tune, but,
they get to make it up in the anime about what it sounds like. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think it maybe even works a bit better in English.
I do too.
or at least as well,
At least
which
for
never
us.
happens.
At least
Which
for
never
us.
happens.
Yeah, for translated songs, definitely.
Which is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than likely he actually originally wrote it out in English, though.
No, I don't think so.
Well, he has said that the actual language that in the One Piece universe is English.
Maybe, but I have a feeling this was probably a Funimation dub.
Nailing it.
Yeah, they made
A Funimation joint.
Yeah, and one of the things too that's weird because like you take it for granted, but we hear it all the time in Japanese openings and endings and anime, is Japanese don't really have a concept of rhyming in their language, and certainly not in their music. Where we do, we rhyme in our music, but they don't really do that. And so that's what's so genius about Binks' Booze is that, or Binks's Brew.
It rhymes.
It totally rhymes, and it's like how they make that work and still be faithful to what the concept of the original song is really pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a great episode, and it's definitely best moment. Except this year is probably going to have Jack beating Aku and going back to the past and beating Aku again.
Yeah.
And so that'll be tough to beat.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, geez, that's going to happen. That's going to happen this year.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe it.
You don't know. He might lose.
Please.
That would be so, yeah.
Really dark ending.
We already know it's a pretty dark show. I don't believe for an instant that's what's going to happen, but I'm just saying.
He loses again, but his will to fight on has been rekindled.
Yeah, maybe it ends on like a cliffhanger where it's like, oh no, he's got to do it all over again or something.
That's the ending to Samurai Jack.
No.
God, that would be the
worst. I think he'll go back to the past for sure.
I mean, yes. So in our Ghost in the Shell corner, make sure that your waifu is a real waifu, not a robo waifu.
Oh, definitely.
This has been your Ghost in the Shell corner.
I will say, I will add briefly to the corner that I actually missed this episode the first time. I never saw it. So I didn't know the whole twist at the end where she's basically spouting lines from the movie.
Yeah, but the lines are slightly different.
That's true. Pretty good, though. I kind of thought this was a decent episode. It was okay, actually, but not super great. But
I liked the factory scene where it's like, okay, go in stealthy, and then at some point they just be like, fuck it, drop stealth. We're walking out.
Yeah, that freaking Tachikoma's walking out, and people are like, what the?
Stealth tank.
I like, and anytime the Tachikoma's on the scene and talking, I am so happy. In this show is so awesome. And like the scene where he's like giving her a talk down or something, or the major's giving it a talk down, and it's like sitting there and it's like oh, and it's like playing with its fingers, doing the kind of shy emotion thing. Yeah. It's like, how can a tank look shy? But they pull it off somehow.
It does.
It's pretty cool.
Anyway, that'll be all for this week. Thanks, B-dubs.
Okay.
Seacaller.
No problem.
Morden.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next week for episode 46. Goodbye.
Bye.